Hello, welcome to Let's Play Captain Commando, and this time we're going to take on the last two levels of the game. We're going to go into the enemy spaceship, we're going to go to the main villain's fortress, we're going to bum rush his place and take him down and shove his head in the toilet, and then flush it, and then make him go into, I don't know, drown him in the toilet, I don't know what a good punishment for him would be. I don't even know what he did exactly. Why are we even fighting him? Sure, he just sent a bunch of these people we call bad guys to attack our city or things like that, or plague our city of crime, but really, does he really deserve that for that? I don't know. This game, we don't actually see much storyline actually in the SNES version. I can't believe they cut that out. This game actually did have a story where it's just simply that Scumocide villain or whatever his name is. He's some evil dictator thing, and he sends his enemies, his allies, to be our enemies, pretty much. He sends them to Earth, and he causes trouble or things like that, or causes a lot of crime or things like that, and we have to fight against. It's a very simple story. They left that out in the SNES version. You don't know why we're fighting against him at all. For all we know from playing the SNES version, we could be the IRS, the repo men, or the tax collectors. Maybe he wasn't paying his taxes or something like that, so we're gonna go and repossess his base in space or something like that. I don't know. You wouldn't know that from playing the SNES version. And kind of a bit of a spoiler alert, this version doesn't even have much of an ending either. But again, what do you expect for a game that doesn't have much of a story? You can't expect a game that doesn't have much of a story to have much of an ending, right? Of course not. As I see here, I'm getting like sandwiched between all of them. They're using those fork things, those electric fork things, and then you still get nukes in this game. When you respawn, you get nukes and all the enemies are stunned for a bit. It's not as effective as it is in the arcade version, but again, this game's easier than the arcade version, as I keep saying. So we're pretty much in, home run of the game, the final stretch of the game. We're going to see the final boss and see the final bosses and the people behind this big scam. It's probably been right to pretend we're fighting against scammers, like what Lewis's Tech does, where he fights against those Amazon scammers that make you go to Best Buy and buy them a $1,000 Best Buy gift card for something that's Amazon, which doesn't make any sense at all. And the sad part is, a lot of people are gullible enough to fall for stuff like that. No, that could be the case. Speaking of which, I was thinking about making an animated film about something like that, about deals with scammers. I was thinking about making the storyline for something that's going to write about scammers, since, because that still is a current problem in our world, is scamming. People come up with all these scams, and they profit off them, and then the police can't do anything, so they live in a different country, and it's usually India or somewhere like that. I think we should go to war with these scammers and, maybe teach them that scamming is wrong. Well, that's what we're going to do to the main villain in this game. We're going to go to war with him and teach him that, it's wrong to pretty much be a scammer. So you can see, when that Marvin, even though he's short, when he gets on fire, his body expands rapidly like that, as if he was just normal height. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. A fire in this game seems to make short people, increase in height. And I almost got hit by that guy. See, we're just getting burned up and charred and fried. Captain Commando must have some sort of heat flame resistance suit, which would make sense. I think Batman has a fire resistant super suit or something like that, like a bat suit or whatever he calls it. It makes sense Captain Commando would have something like that. The Superman games. I also played another game with this called Death and Return of Superman on the SNES. And Superman's actually kind of weak in that game. You get beat up easy and get killed. But again, if they made the game accurate to Superman, then then the game would be way too easy. Then, kind of like in that Star Wars game, Episode 1, Jedi Power Battles, and other Star Wars games in general, where you really have a lightsaber that could slash or anything like a knife through butter. It actually takes a lot of hits to destroy battle droids, which are really easy to kill in the movies, but in the game it makes a lot more sense. They do have to make the game more difficult and more challenging. So this is the boss of the stage, believe it or not. It's the doppelganger. We're fighting the doppelganger of ourself and Mummy Commando. And look at that, we already destroyed Captain Commando doppelganger. Now we destroyed the Mummy Commando. Now, that's probably another one of the easiest. That's probably the second easiest boss in the game. The most easiest is obviously being the Dr. TW, the easiest boss for sure. So now we're gonna leave the enemy's space shuttle, it's clearly a space shuttle, being flown to Castillo or Calistio, or whatever you call it. Calistio, I guess it's some planet or something like that where the main villain lives on. I wonder if the main villain's an alien. I don't know. You never find out his origin or anything. That's the thing about these games. You leave a lot of unsolved mysteries. Who is Captain Commando? Why does he do what he does? Why does the main villain do what he does? This isn't even a new thing. This dates back to even the days of Pac-Man. Look at Pac-Man. Why is Pac-Man doing what he does? What do the ghosts have against Pac-Man? maybe Pac-Man killed those people and they became ghosts, and that's why they want to get rid of Pac-Man. I wonder who those people were before they died. So yeah, this is the final level of the game. This is pretty cool for a final level, actually. It's very cliche too, but a cool cliche, a good cliche, where you're on some freaky spaceport or some planet, some freaky planet, where there's like bad guys, freakishly insane enemies everywhere, and you have to beat the crap out of them. There's gonna be bosses in this stage. And yeah, it looks bad Captain Commando beats on those female thugs, but then again, it's this gender, profiling. Maybe these people are, just saying everyone should be equal regardless of what gender it is, what they are, or whatever they are. There's all sorts. Nowadays we live in a world where ma'am and sir are interchangeable terms. It doesn't really matter now. Guys get called ma'am all the time, women get called sirs all the time. It doesn't really matter what you call them now. And gender pronouns are starting to become more, interchangeable because of the way things are, and washrooms are starting to become more interchangeable too, unless we live in California or someplace like that where they're very much against, like the new change in times, keeping up the times kind of thing. Eventually it'll probably will be considered politically incorrect to refer to someone as their gender, to acknowledge the fact that someone has a gender different than yours or something. It's just the way political correctness is going these days, and I wonder if these people knew about the future. I bet this game is probably set in the future, or maybe some fantasized version of 1991. Oh look, Dolg is back. Remember Dolg? Remember we fought him at the bank in the first level? Well, he's back, apparently. That beating we gave him at the bank wasn't enough for him to learn his lesson. I thought we were going to have to fight all the bosses again. Kind of like in Mega Man. Makes sense because it's Capcom who also made Mega Man. I thought we were going to have to fight all the bosses again like in Mega Man, but no, we don't. Instead, it's just Dolg. Just fight Dolg again. That's the only boss from this game, where we have to fight. And then after that, we get to take on the final boss, the final villain of the game. And Dolg is still just as easy as ever. He's actually I'll admit, he is slightly more difficult than he was the first time around, but he's still, pretty pathetically easy. If you know how to defeat him, if you're good at this game at this point, it should be easy stuff. And you can see his shadows to align yourself with shadows so you know where he's going to be, and then you still can only get a very, so it's hard to always dodge them. Look at that, guy threw a bunch of knives at me. Those guys have unlimited knives they can just throw. And just, they're knife boy, essentially. There's a picture of Jesus on the wall, and the picture of Jesus opens up, and, oh look, it's the final boss, the final showdown. There he is, the main villain, the main Dark Lord himself, the evil villain we've been hearing about right from the beginning, Scumocide. I guess his name's supposed to mean like he's scum or something, like the scum of the side. He's the side of scum. I bet he runs a lot of those fake tech support scam things in India. I wouldn't be surprised if he's from India or somewhere like that, considering what kind of stuff he does. He's all big on crime. In the arcade version, he's like almost impossible, but if you have unlimited continues, you could beat him easy. But in this game, we don't have that. But he's a lot easier. It's the keep saying for he's actually one of the easiest bosses in this game, believe it or not. You can beat him. Look at that, I'm just beating him up in. Look at that. We're getting his health pretty low. He's pathetic in this game. He's a pathetic excuse for a final boss. You wouldn't really expect that for Capcom. Even the Final Fight games on the SNES had more and better bosses than this. Final Fight 1 on the SNES is still challenging like its arcade counterpart, but Final Fights 2 and 3 were, pathetically easy. I don't know, I never played the arcade versions of those, I don't know, I've never played their SNES counterparts. And so, look at that, we got over 1,400 points, 140,000 points, sorry. So now we get another credit, as you see there, and yes, that's the end of the game. We defeat the bad guys, and naturally, his base in space on this planet is about to get destroyed. He's gonna fade away from existence because we defeated him. Because that's what happens to bad guys when we defeat them. They just fade away into existence, into a bunch of ones and zeros in some binary realm that can only be interpreted by computers. And this is the ending of the game. Yeah, that's right. This is seriously how the game ends. This is Captain Commando, the badge, the sheriff's badge, Captain Commando. I don't know, does Captain Commando work for the police at all? I don't know, the boys in blue, the cops, the coppers. It probably serves as a little bullet protection too, in case you ever get shot in that specific part. So I see the whole Commando team's gonna jump around. Captain Commando and his wimpy sidekicks are gonna jump around and do a bunch of moves. A bunch of acrobat moves, like, ooh, we could do it, we're acrobats, look at us. And then that's how the game ends. There's a nice story. It's the original arcade version. We actually get like, oh, Scomosad's been defeated. The city is safe now, and it was defeated by Captain Commando. There's a lot more voice acting in the original game too. He says Captain Commando, but that takes up way too much space on an SNES cartridge. So I can understand why they omitted that from this version of the game. So I'm gonna enter my initials. I got first place, as you can see. The first place high score. That's my final score, among some other scores of mine. Well, one other score of mine for a failed attempt at playing for this game. So yeah, that's pretty much Captain Commando. I might play hard mode eventually, but I'm not really that interested. This is Ray Phoenix, signing out.